Hello, everyone, and welcome back to No Storm Chaser. And today we're going to be reacting to another Kurzgesagt Midnight video. I'm so excited about this channel. The first video was very impressive. We learned a lot about the Pirate Queen and piracy and history. And today we are going to be checking out whale hunting history. In particular, whale hunting was absolutely crazy. If you haven't checked out the original video, go make sure to give them a check out first. They do amazing work, and yeah, let's get to reacting.
There she blows!
There she blows!
The scream cuts through the salty air as your ship transforms into a war machine. Three fragile boats are lowered into the waves, each packed with 6 men. You're on a hunt, and your sweaty hands clench the harpoon.
Could you actually imagine fighting a whale back then? With like just a harpoon or anything like that? That must have been so terrifying, especially if the whale like lunged at you. I couldn't imagine that.
An enormous shadow bursts through the waves. It rises above you and comes crashing down towards
like this.
the boat. But you're not hunting for food. You're risking your life for a liquid treasure worth $200,000. Whale oil, trapped inside the largest animals to ever live. Ancient sea masters. Nobody really knows how humans first got the idea of battling whales. Probably ancient coastal people stumbled upon whales stranded ashore. To them, these titans were rare treasure chests overflowing with meat to eat and bones to craft into tools. Refusing to leave such fortune to chance, they paddled out and tried their luck. Towards the 8th century, whaling turns commercial. Along the Bay of Biscay, the Basques build stone watchtowers. The moment a dark shape breaks the surface, signal fires blaze and drums thunder across the coast. Men shove small boats into the waves, armed with hand-thrown harpoons. Their target is the North Atlantic right whale, an 18-meter and 90-ton gentle giant who's gloriously slow and prefers coastal waters. While most whales sink when they die, right whales stay afloat. The right whale to hunt. Their massive mouths
Is that a really? Nice pun.
contain hundreds of baleen plates, bristly sieves made from keratin. It's the plastic of its time, shapeable into anything from
Oh, and they also use it for corsets and just other
baskets to corset stays and armor. The expensive meat makes up 1/3 of a whale's weight, while half of it is blubber, a thick, oily shield that hides the real prize. When heated, the blubber can be rendered into precious whale oil. It's the Swiss Army knife of early industry. It lubricates machinery, waterproofs ships when mixed with tar, and helps make soap and paint. But most importantly, whale oil burns brighter and cleaner than anything else available at the time. The Basques turn whaling into a finely tuned enterprise. They improve equipment, perfect the art of processing whales, and
I also remember Americans also do a bunch of whaling later in the, I think it's 18th century. I remember they used to travel across the world in like South America to do whaling businesses.
flood Europe with whale products, while other nations watch with envy. By the 17th century, the English and Dutch launched their own whaling fleets. They hire Basque consultants, and soon the secrets of whale hunting spread across European powers and into their colonies.
Oh, well, then we're going to get into
Americans hijack whaling.
Yeah.
Life in colonial New England is as harsh as its winters and stony soil. But in the Atlantic, enormous shadows glide along the coast as right whales follow their migratory routes. And the settlers know the Old World pays handsomely for such treasures. Shore whaling becomes their first get-rich-quick scheme. A single good-sized whale earns each crew member as much as a land-based worker makes in 6 months.
Whoa!
But it's unpredictable. Some years, a crew kills 100 whales. Other years drag on for months without a catch. Still, whaling becomes a valuable source of trade. Meanwhile, London is swelling into one of the world's great metropolises, and by the 1740s, 15,000 street lamps burn with colonial whale oil there. It takes half a
This is so sad. I mean, obviously they find better alternatives like actual oil industry, but there's problems with CO2 emissions, but this is just straight up killing animals for their oil. This is horrible.
Whale per night to turn London's dark streets into a flickering sea of light. But just like the bat,
Can you imagine how many whales they killed over all these centuries? It's kind of like the bison, but the bison were just massacred just because, or the American bison. The American bison was massacred just to get people's schedule on time for trains, and they massacred 99% of the population. I live in a state where they still exist because of reservations at the very last minute before they were all extinct. We have a few around here. We got one about like 50 miles away, and we have one about like 100, and they're really interesting creatures.
Basques had learned centuries earlier, the right whales near shore become scarcer with each passing year, just as demand is exploding. Around this time, a whaling boat is swept far offshore outside Nantucket. Hours drag on in uncertainty until finally the crew brings down a new kind of giant.
What?
The 18-meter, 45-ton sperm whale.
Whoa!
In their heads, these leviathans carry nearly 2,000 liters of spermaceti, the highest quality oil on the planet. Milky gold, and so pure it burns without smoke. Sperm whales become the ultimate prize monsters. A single large sperm whale can yield oil worth around $200,000 today. That's a fortune in the 1850s and 2 to 3 times more valuable than right whale oil. One barrel can buy you almost 3 acres of farmland.
Okay, I understand why they did it, even if it's immoral.
Then again, outfitting a whaling expedition costs $30,000, 10 times more than an average farm. A third of voyages lose money and some never return. But getting smashed by furious whales is what truly makes sailors' blood run cold. The hunt. Before we tackle the beast, let's briefly interrupt ourselves and shout out to our great
advertising.
sponsor, Odoo. Odoo is an
Really? They just have this panel or channel and they're already advertised? That's awesome for them.
all-in-one management software that offers more than 45 applications designed to help you run your business every day. From home, no sharp knives or danger to life necessary. You can, for example, manage your projects, create a website, send invoices. All your applications are centralized on one single platform.
Thank you, but I have a job.
Your dollars in business. Hunt is about to begin. The planks groan as your shipmates strain at their oars, rowing straight towards the beast. The plan is simple and absolutely insane. Row close enough to touch this monster, hurl a harpoon into its flesh, and hope it doesn't take it personally. You recognize the creature from its scars, and it remembers you. The harpoon
like an
bites
elephant.
deep into blubber. The whale turns into
Elephants can remember you if you've done good or bad to them for a long, long time.
pure terror.
Like decades.
Terrified rage. Your boat lurches forwards like you've been hitched to a steam engine, spray blinding you as you're dragged across the ocean in what whalers call a Nantucket sleigh ride. It goes on for an hour, then 4. Your knuckles are white, gripping the gunwale as waves crash over the bow. The men pray and curse. 8 hours into the hunt, your exhausted eyes lose focus. The ropes lash across the deck like they're alive. Someone's leg gets caught and they're yanked into the ocean, swallowed by the waves. You hope it's quick. Sailors tell stories of other whales rushing in to defend their kin, dragging men down where lungs are crushed like tin cans. But you're still here, and the whale is finally slowing, exhausted from pulling your floating death trap across the ocean. Now comes the killing. You have to get close to stab this giant with a 3-meter lance, going for the massive lungs or heart. Blood starts flowing from the spout like a crimson geyser, but the whale is still fighting. 15 blows later, you find the mark. The whale starts swimming in tighter and tighter circles, vomiting half-digested squid until it finally rolls over in a spreading pool of gore. And you're barely getting started. The floating factory. You tow the enormous carcass back to the ship where the crew slams down chains to secure their prize. The ship creaks as the dead giant bobs in the swells beside you. Now, the butchery can begin. It takes days to process 45 tons of dead whale into liquid money. You leap across the blood-slick blubber to axe through the thick flesh of the head. Within lies the spermaceti chamber, the vault of the most precious whale oil. Then you help peel away the blubber, 20 centimeters thick and tough as leather. You cut 2-meter wide blanket pieces, weighing a ton, and hold them up with pulleys that strain the ship's masts. Your ship lurches as you cut it free to release the weight. Next comes the rendering. You fire up the tryworks, brick furnaces built right on the wooden deck. In massive iron pots, the blubber gets boiled down into oil. The smoke is so thick you can barely breathe. They say you can smell a whaling ship from 30 kilometers away. Burning tar, rotting flesh, and the
Dude, you're gonna die of cancer.
stink of death.
Like,
The wo-
this is like cancer juice for anyone.
Work continues around the clock.
Oh, and
Sharks are
sharks.
drawn by the bloody waste you're dumping overboard. Men slip on the greasy decks and break bones, get crushed by swinging chunks of blubber, or scalded by boiling oil. It may be one of the most gruesome jobs in existence. The stench, the blood, the endless toil, it wears you down fast. Most who sign on quickly regret it. Nearly a third end up deserting. You are holding on to the dream of coming home rich, but the odds aren't great. The business of blood. When it's all over, the ship returns with dozens of barrels of the finest oil on Earth. By the 1850s, whaling has become the 5th biggest industry in the US,
Wow.
with 700 whaling ships, 3/4 of the world's fleet, employing 70,000 people. In 1853 alone, American whalers kill over 8,000 whales, making 360,000
8,000?
barrels of oil and almost $500 million in today's dollars. Voyages grow longer and months turn into years as ships push into the Pacific and Indian Oceans. Each voyage demands bigger investments, and whaling turns into a venture capital industry.
Wow.
Crews work for shares instead of wages, while forced to buy overpriced supplies on credit. Many come home in debt, and a lucky few rise through the ranks. It's the American dream, they say, but it feels like an illusion. The real money flows upwards to ship owners and merchants. Fishing villages turn into global commercial hubs. In New England, the port of New Bedford rises as one of the richest towns in America. Whaling is unusually diverse for its time, but deeply exploitative. Much of the labor comes from Native Americans and black sailors. Native communities become dependent on English goods, while crews of color are pushed into the hardest and lowest paying work. This pattern of inequality still echoes today. The blood of whales helps fuel the rise of American industrial power. The machine age of killing. Until in 1859, a breakthrough changes everything. Steam-powered rigs start commercially pumping petroleum. Suddenly, kerosene, lamp oil refined from crude oil, is cheap and seemingly limitless. Over the following decades, the whaling industry faces dramatic changes. Nantucket, once the heart of global whaling, sees its last ship limp home in 1870. The age of sail is ending. The age of engine has begun. And it's ushered in by blood. In
Really?
the 18th and 19th centuries, 300,000 sperm whales alone were slaughtered.
Ooh.
And they still can't catch a break. Although kerosene conquered lighting, whale oil is still one of the best lubricants on Earth. Never freezes, spoils, or quits. The machinery powering industrialization needs it, so ironically, petroleum soon increases demand for whale oil.
What?
Norwegians
Honestly, I thought that would replace it, but I guess not. I was wrong.
seize the opportunity with cheaper labor and new technology. They set up whaling stations on islands at the edge of Antarctica. Hand-thrown spears are gone, and now
Oh.
explosive-tipped harpoons fire from steam-powered catcher boats for instant kills. The fast ships can chase down even blue whales, the largest animals that ever lived. Normally, most dead whales sink, but now air compressors pump them full of gas, so even the biggest ones float like massive buoys. No whale is safe anymore. In the arms race leading up to World War I, whale oil is also used to produce explosives. But the true carnage comes after World War II, when Japan and the Soviet Union also joined the slaughter. They called it the Whaling Olympics. The same industrial might that once built tanks and bombers now builds factory ships. The largest one is 210 meters long, capable of processing dozens of whales in a day. In 1964, 82,000 whales are reported killed, the largest animal slaughter by tons in human history. The war we almost won. The ocean couldn't sustain this mechanized assault. Sperm whales fall from around 1.5 million to 800,000, and the even larger fin whales from almost 800,000 to 100,000.
What?
Blue whale populations, which had numbered around 340,000 before industrial whaling, collapsed by 98% to less than 5,000. It isn't until 1975 that the reality of industrial whaling hits the global spotlight. In the North Pacific, environmental activists steer tiny inflatable boats straight between Soviet whaling ships and their targets. The images of fragile human bodies standing in the path of steel harpoons spread like wildfire. Overnight, the public turns against the commercial slaughter. Across America and Europe, people support a new cause: save the whales. Finally, the International Whaling Commission votes for a global moratorium on commercial whaling. Only Norway, Iceland and Japan never signed the global ban that takes effect in 1986, basically ending 400 years of industrial whale hunting. It's a different world now, and looking back, the story of whaling seems bloody and barbaric. But it also lit homes, powered machines, and built the scaffolding of modernity. A staggering and also concerning display of what humanity is capable of. The power to reshape the world, with progress and destruction always side by side.
That's such a good line right there. Wow. Like I said, please share this video with friends and family. We are depending on your support. Guys, that was a good video. I honestly didn't know how much they massacred whales, especially the blue whale. 98% of the population. That makes me so sad, guys. But I'm glad that they finally got that weaponized massacre out of the way. But, yep. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, and let me know down below what would you like me to see. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!